Hello and welcome to the channel. So we've got a Blackstar HT5 and this is in for repair. After about 30 minutes it goes quiet, and I bet we can guess what it is. The phase inverters on these are solid state, and the components in there get red hot and eventually dry joint. So we're not going to run this for 30 minutes till it goes off. We're just going to open it up and have a look round. It's obviously going to be dry joint related, more than likely. So we've got this out, and you can see it's got clean channel, an overdrive channel, just the EQ there, reverb level, usual deal. This is a Mark II, and you can see when we look there, we've got, just tap again, there we go. We've got power transformer, output transformer, 12AX7, and the 12B, it's a twin triode tube. It eludes me what it's called. 12BA7, I think, something like that. So that's the tube there. I think we'll have this in the, will it go in the cradle? Yes, I think we'll have this in the cradle. We'll have the board off first. I've already taken 2 of the screws out, so you can see in there. And these amps aren't fun, I have to say, and they're an absolute scourge when it comes to taking them apart. They can be a nightmare. And if you look on the board, it's all surface mount components. They are so tiny, and if it's any of those components, then you can virtually say good night on these. Certainly for me repairing it, because I don't have the microscope, and I don't have the I've got the heat gun, but I don't have the fluxes, and I don't really have the skills. It's something I keep threatening to train myself into, is this removing these type of components, but never kind of get round to it. You need a lot of space, big bench for all the stuff to go on there. But anyway, enough waffling. Let's see if we can fix it. So as soon as you see that, you know, your chances of fixing this have gone down 50% immediately before you've plugged it in. Under there, the last one of these we did, we actually, I think that was a Mark 1. When we took it out, the video was on the channel somewhere, there was a great hole in the board, and it had, the guy that had tried to repair it, he just sort of got all the burnt PC board out. Well, he let some of it anyway, it was still all charred, and then he just botched it up with hook up wire and stuff, and it was a right mess, and it never worked properly after he did that. Apparently, and we just wrote it off. It was just nothing you could do with it. The boards aren't available. I don't know whether they're available for the Mark IIs, but they're certainly not available for the Mark 1s. So yes, it sometimes these amps not really made to repair, and this was made in 2018. Now the one thing with these amps, apparently, you can take them back to Blackstar, and they'll fix them for you. And obviously they're obviously going to be more equipped than I am, and obviously they're amps, they're used to working on them. So looks like someone's been in here soldering, and they've left the flux on the 2 sockets there, and same on the other one. There's nothing loose as such, and that's really what you're looking for. Now if these have worked loose, it's hard to tell, because these heat sinks are solid, but they could have done, and that could be why, if there's a fault on these, why it's not showing till it's been on for 30 minutes or so, and these are getting hot. I've got a couple there, but no, nothing that jumps out at you. get some big glasses on and have a look at those tube sockets. And the soldering looks good on there. Again, it's just the flux hasn't been cleaned up, but the soldering's very good. No problem with that. So I've just examined both of those, and the solder joints are excellent. It's just the flux that's on there, but they're excellent. So there's no problem with those. Has it got send and return on the back? Obviously, yes, it must have. They all have now. All these, has it? Yes, send and return. So we can check those sockets too as well, because sometimes they cause problems with the amp cutting out. But we need to get a speaker on it now, don't we? And we'll get the signal generator through it and give it a run. Right, the battery's just gone in the gimbal. So, but we've got a signal through this. It looks like we've got problems on those sockets. Yeah, on there, looks like. And just a word of caution with these amps, when you kind of look at it, doesn't give you that impression that there's that much voltage in it, but there is. And that output tube's got about 400 volts on it, so be careful when you're probing in these things, because this thing will bite you. Doesn't draw a massive amount of current, but by gum, there's a lot of voltage on it. Right, so I've got this board out, and you can see on here, look, 550 volts DC in this amp. So there's even, stop that pink, so there's even more in more voltage in this than the last one, the Mark 1. So yes, that will alter your hair style considerably if you get a belt of that. So we're going to suck all the solder off these and then replace them with leaded solder. We've got these small ones down here, so I've got the old pencil iron, 12-watt pencil iron for that. You have to be very careful. If the camera's rustling around, it's because Pink is shoving the tripod. Get down, Pink, and stop it. Stop it trying to hijack my video just to get food. It's not working today. Now the other thing is, if we turn it over, and I'm afraid if it's on that side, I'll just tilt that, if it's on that side of the board, I'm afraid it's all over, because the only thing we can really do then is get a see if we can get a board from Blackstar, if that's the case. But we'll try this first. We'll clean all the sockets out as well. Got all the sockets here, so we'll clean those out, see if we can just see if it's a problem with those, and then we'll test it and see. Someone's popped in to see us there. She hasn't appeared on the last few videos, but here she is again, and that'll be another 20 Dreamies. Get your tail out of there. I don't need you to discharge the capacitors with your tail, assuming that there's any charge in them. Probably not, but so yes, we'll make a start on this board, and hopefully that'll secure our problems. Right, so I've done these here, and this one, and I've done that one. These we're going to do with the pencil iron, because we don't want to burn these switches up, and you've got to be really careful. And the MP3 player socket, we don't want to burn that up, so we'll use the pencil iron for those. So again, I always get this unleaded solder off, and as I said before, I just get this and go over them. Now these can be a little more tricky, because these are double pads, and the solder runs through under the when they soldered them up originally, it runs through onto the other side, and it's a bit more difficult to suck that out. And you can see how they've dried, all bobbly and things. That's the unleaded solder mixing with the leaded. And if you don't get it all off, you'll just end up with dry joints again eventually. And I don't want this amp coming back. And there's a few reasons why I don't want amps coming back, because it's you fix something and then a month later it's back and you've got amps on the benches and things, and then then another one comes in that you've not fixed properly, and next thing the whole week's gone tits up. So it's better to just spend that little extra time getting all this garbage solder off, and making sure it doesn't come back. As I've said though, if there's something else on the other side of this board, I'm afraid it's probably curtains for this. There, so we've cleaned all that off, and then we'll solder him up. Clean the tip on the iron. I bet you can't see that much, can you, what I'm doing? Oh dear, I've not put it on manual focus, have I? Oh dear. So you get the idea. You've seen me do this before, and you can see the there we go. And now we clean that off with the alcohol, and that just gives them a bit of a shine. It's almost impossible to get all the unleaded solder out from these sockets, but you can get 99% out of it. And as long as, when you look at those joints, they look really nice like that, then you've got rid of virtually all of it. But it's just what's under those sockets. So again, we'll just go through these. It takes a while a few seconds to mix as well, because leaded solder melts. Unleaded solder melts at a higher temperature, because it's something like 228 degrees, and I think it's about 178 for this soda. It's Pink over the years has done some very silly things. She decided to try and catch a bee one day, and it stung her on the nose, and her nose swelled up like a little miniature golf ball. It looked most peculiar with a perfectly round nose, but it had gone down by the end of the day. She sat there the whole day feeling sorry for herself. Of course, it didn't deter her appetite, and I felt more obliging to be giving her more treats, because she didn't look very clever. But by the end of the day it had gone down, and she didn't look too bad. I don't think she'd put her nose on the soldering iron, but can't really take the chance, because that really would do us a serious injury. there we go. Quite time consuming when you're doing this the way I do it, but it's done right, and you know that these aren't going to crack. So there we go, that's how I do those. And I say then we'll clean it all up with alcohol. So I've got one more to do there, and then we'll get the pencil iron. We'll do these as well, and then we'll get the pencil iron fired up. Right, that's all the traces done with the main iron. Now we're just going to address the smaller ones with the pencil iron. Now, such as the MP3 in socket, I don't think that would be causing any problems that we've got on here, but we'll still give it a bit of a solder because someone may use it in time, and if it's dry jointed, it'll be intermittent. So we'll plug in, turn the current limiter off. So we've got this 12-watt pencil iron, Antex pencil iron. So that's what we're going to use for all these small traces that we've got. We'll see how we go with this, but I really don't want to be using anything. I don't want to be burning those ribbons up at the back of there, and I don't want to be burning these switches up either, because if we bust one of these switches and it cuts the amp out, then we will be in a bit of a mess. We will, and we'll have to try and find one of those switches from somewhere, and that will be a pain in the posterior. Pink's disappeared now, thankfully. So when we've done all this, we'll clean the sockets, and then we'll put the board back in with fingers crossed and hastily switch it on to see if we've cured it. And if not, then I'm afraid it's all over, and unless we can get a board for it. Right, so I've done this one with the pencil iron, and it is struggling to melt the unleaded solder a little bit. Probably it's okay once you've got all that off, but it is struggling a little bit despite how small these traces are. So we've got this to do here. And you can see how it's baubled on the top there because it hasn't melted the unleaded solder yet. Stuff is vile. My days. And it just blocks the solder sucker up as well. It's awful stuff. It really is. Absolute garbage. I probably can't see what I'm doing very well. In a bit close. By gone, this stuff is evil. It is. Let's just block that again. Right, we've soldered that up. Boy, that was a nightmare. I had to do a bit of an overhaul on the solder sucker. Oh, this stuff is vicious. It is nasty stuff. So we've got this to do now, and I'm wondering whether to tattle those. I'm wondering whether to I don't think it's those that's causing the problem, and I really don't want to be. I don't want to solder that unless I'm forced, to be honest. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one, and then there's 3 here, there, and then I'm going to clean this board from top to bottom because it's still a bit smudgy with the flux with some fresh alcohol, and then we're going to clean these sockets, and then we're going to give it a try, pop it back in and give it a try. I think that seems to be a good plan. They do look a little, that one there does look a little dry jointed as well. So got the 6 times glasses on now, so I've got to get in really close, and it's hard with the camera. It's probably time I got one of the more professional solder suckers, desoldering tools, something with a bit more swage about it. Let's solder him back up. Sorry about banging the camera, it's really difficult because we're having to get in so close with these 6 times glasses to get them in focus. You can still run like a 20-year-old, just can't see like one. That looks pretty good. A little bit too much solder on the top one, so we'll just what I do with that is just put the iron across it. So much goes onto the iron, then I just clean that off. The soldering iron, it's not too bad. Nice and shiny. Just making sure those two aren't touching. But yeah, that's that one done. So there's just these 3 left now. And as I say, I'm not going to touch those unless I'm forced. If the fault's still there, then we'll have to possibly look at those. But they do look all right. And there we go. That's all clean now. Got all the alcohol flux off this. We've got all the flux off with the alcohol. That's all nice and shiny, all as it should be. So best we can do with that, but that looks spot on. So the next job now is to turn it over and clean these sockets, especially those send and return sockets. So I've got a jack socket in here, and so I can get into the contacts, because when you pull the jack plug out, then it rests on those contacts. We want to make sure that those contacts are clean. And then what we'll do is we'll spray some in for the top contacts, because what I'm doing with that is I'm cleaning the bottom contacts, but going in there. Oops. way you can see what I'm doing here, but anyway. And I'll just go across and do the others, and then we'll spray some contact cleaner in there, use the jack socket, make sure they're all nice and clean, and then we'll get the board back in. We're on the night shift, by the way. Now it's 20 to 12, trying to get some of these repairs done on the night shift so we can focus on the restorations in the daytime. Right, I've lowered the sine wave to 300 hertz, and it's time to do a bit of probing and see if we've cured the problem. I think we can call that a win, a fix. A win and a fix. Yes, I think, as Howard says to Marina, I think we've cracked it this time, love. So I think we've fixed that, hopefully. That's looking good. Well, as it's nearly midnight, we're not going to demo this amp now. That wouldn't be a good idea, blasting away on this, but we'll do it in the morning. But I'm quite pleased with that. That looks like a winner with any luck. Right, I've got this Blackstar HT5, and we're going to give it a blast. See, it's been on for a bit now, probably 20 minutes, and it's not gone off, so I think we've just got the volume and tone on this first channel, this clean channel. Let's get a bit of clip on there when we got that. I think now it's really clean. So yeah, that's not a bad sounding amp at all, that. And they look a lot better inside now. This Mark II board is much improved. It's much better. So let's flick onto the overdrive, shall we? Is that button there? Oh yes. Now I think we've got 2 stages of overdrive. My days. Yeah, so I think we've got max boost and mega max boost there. Let's just we'll put about half of it in. Yes, very it's a bit of a fun amp this really, because it's not ever so loud and you can maximum overdrive, full swage madam. We'll make a cup of tea while that's dying away. that's most fun. It is. You have to excuse me. I've got a bit of sinus trouble now after that cold. It's made me a bit unswagey. So yeah, that's pretty nice. It's a very versatile little thing, that. I mean, just for using at home and maybe even in a recording studio. I have used 2 of these live before, the early Mark 1s on a 4x12 cab. Just used it on each 2 speakers, used a couple of them, and they were quite loud. But yeah, that's quite a nice thing, and we seem to have cured the problem. It's not gone off, it's been on a good half an hour. So yes, I think that'll do it for this one. I'm just going to leave it on for another hour or so and then just come back and have another bit of a go on it, and if it's still alright then I think we can call that a fix. So that'll do it for this one. So short videos for a change. So there's a video going up tonight, and this one will be going up tomorrow night. So it's Thursday today, so yeah, we've got another solid state amp going out tonight, and then we've got this one. You'll see this one on a Friday. It will be Friday when you see it. So that's it, that'll do it. So thanks for watching. You all take care. I'll see you all soon in the next one. Bye bye for now.